In this video, we'll be looking at how to memorize easily the Italian tempo terms in your Grade 1 ABRSM Music Theory exam. So let's get started. So there are three groups of terms and signs in your Grade 1 Music Theory. They can be divided into three groups: the tempo, the dynamics, and others. Okay, others refers to mood, music direction, and articulation. And for this video here, I'll be focusing on tempo. I do have other videos on dynamics and others, how to memorize them easily, so do check them out. So now, let's first take a look at all the music terms and signs that you are required to know for Grade 1 ABRSM Music Theory exam. So there are 24 terms and 10 signs. Okay, and out of these 24 terms and 10 signs, okay, there are 9 tempo terms. So what are tempo terms? Well, tempo refers to the speed at which you will be playing the piece of music. Okay, so for this video here, we'll be focusing on these 9 tempo terms. So these are 9 tempo terms here: allegro, allegretto, moderato, andante, adagio, accelerando, rallentando, ritardando, and a tempo. So I've divided them into 2 groups. Okay, and I'll talk more about why I divide them into 2 groups now. So the first group actually refers to the actual speed. Okay, the speed at which the music is to be played. Okay, then the second group, which we will also be going through in this video later on, refers to a change in speed. Okay, and we'll talk more about this section later on. So now let's first focus on this first part where we look at the speed. So there are 5 music terms or 5 Italian tempo terms that is on the speed at which the music is to be played. Okay, so let's take a look at these 5 terms and let me show you a way that I recommend students to remember them. So I'll usually draw this line here with an arrow. Okay, and on the left hand side, I will put slower, and on the right hand side I'll put faster. So the terms that are on the left hand side will be slower, and the terms that are on the right hand side will be faster. Okay, and I also put a line in the middle. Okay, and that would be at moderate speed. Okay, which is going to be your moderato. So I'll highly suggest, or I'll highly recommend having this diagram as you go through your different levels in music. Okay, and try to mark out where each of these terms, whether it's Italian or later on French and German, each of them, where do they belong to in this diagram here? Okay, so that you'll have an understanding of which term is slower, which term is faster, and so on. All right. Now, so let's do this together. So we will start off with the slowest. So from these 5 terms here, out of these 5 terms, the slowest one is adagio, which means slow. Okay, so we'll mark it out here. Next, it is followed by andante, which is at a medium speed or at a walking pace. So andante is slightly faster than adagio. Okay. Next, you have moderato, which is at a moderate speed. Then you have allegretto, which is slightly faster than moderato, but still slower than allegro. So allegro is quick, allegretto is fairly quick, moderato is moderate pace, at a moderate pace. And as you can see, the word moderato looks like moderate. Okay, that is where it comes from. Then andante is at a walking pace or at a medium speed, and adagio is slow. So with that, this line, okay, where you arrange the terms from slow to fast, it gets easier to memorize these 5 Italian terms on speed or tempo. Now that we have memorized these 5 terms, let's move on to the other terms. So recall, these are the 9 terms that you need to remember for Grade 1 Music Theory under the section on terms and signs. So now let's focus on this section here. Okay, and in this section, right, we look at a change in tempo. Then tempo terms which are an indication of a change in speed. So if you look at accelerando, rallentando, ritardando, and a tempo, you can divide them into 3 groups, right? So there is one group that gets faster or get quicker, then another group that gets slower, and another group that goes back to the original speed. So same thing, we'll draw out this line again, and we will write original speed in the center now. On the left, we will put slower, and on the right, we will put faster. Okay, now let's look at if I add the original speed. Okay, if I want to go back to what the speed was initially, it will be a tempo. If I want to go slower, it will be all the R terms, rallentando and retardando. Okay. Okay, so you'll notice that for all the grade 1 terms and signs, right, there are only 2 terms and signs that start with R. Okay, and those R terms are getting slower. Okay, simple. So it will be the raw and the read and the retard. Okay, so this refers to getting slower. And in a lot of the music pieces that you'll be playing, the music goes to particularly the end of the song, you might see this roll or read or retard. Okay. Then if I'm at the original speed and I want to go faster, then it will be accelerando. Okay, or ACCEL for short. And you notice that for this, it comes from the words accelerate, right? So when you step on the accelerator in the car goes faster. Similarly, when you see the word accelerando, it means getting faster. Okay, and it is gradually getting faster. Right, with that, we have covered all the 9 tempo terms in your grade 1 music theory. So by arranging the terms in this manner, it is actually much easier to memorize. I hope this is useful to you. Let me know in the comments section below.